the Book of Revelations is Game of Thrones, right? I get it, man. Like that's not a pleasant read, man. The ending's happy, but the 7 years of tribulation, not so much, right?
Okay. So here's my thoughts on that. That was written way later, like 100 years after Jesus' crucifixion, right?
No, the Book of Revelations
The Book of Revelation.
was written by John. Maximum
John
30,
of Petros.
maximum 30
It was
years.
written.
Yeah, 30 years. He was in a cave. He was in a cave and he wrote it down. Yeah.
All right, so regardless,
Less than a
prophecy is a tricky thing.
We'll say a generation.
Doesn't matter.
It was written in one generation.
Matter.
It was written, right? 70 years.
It doesn't even matter because their technological level would have been about the same. I'm talking about perspective, right?
Oh yeah, no, for
when
sure.
he's writing these things down, you have to think of a dude who was alive about 2,000 years ago.
Oh yeah, no concept of a helicopter, right? For sure, man, or tanks or bioweapons.
Feel me? And so the things that he is describing are as good of an explanation as he can get of what he's seeing.
Yeah.
And with prophecy, it's like, what, like can you even wrap your head around like what it would be like to 2,000 years ago? Like that's like, I mean.
Yeah, and it's a perfect example of that is talking about the portals, the sky rolling back like a scroll. I mean, he's talking about a portal, right? I mean, that's a perfect example of it.
Exactly.
But anyway, but that doesn't. Yeah, man, but still, it's death and chaos and a lot of smoke, a lot of fire, and a lot of not good stuff happening. And according to the Book of Jubilees, ain't nothing we can do to stop it, man. So all we can do is hopefully prolong it, right?
It's fascinating to me that is kind of one of the things, right? That they're calling it like a deterministic timeline.
They actually call it the divine schedule. I'm like, okay.
Right. Okay. So
did he say schedule or schedule? Schedule. It's a divine schedule.
I had a conversation a long time ago, right? Schedule. About like, okay. This is going to get weird for a moment. You ready? You ready to go down a rabbit hole for 5 minutes?
We're going to wrap it up in this rabbit hole. Let's do it.
Artificial intelligence. If time is not restricted, at some point, and it seems inevitable at this point, we will invent an artificial superintelligence. What if the sacred timeline is static because that artificial superintelligence is guaranteeing its own creation?
Yeah. No, that's actually that's a good. I mean, and even make it even weirder. We'll call the divine schedule a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Right.
And so, so you've made comments on this channel before that still stand. Is that any 2,000 years ago, a cell phone would look like magic, right? So,
absolutely.
And so, of course, even now, today,
right,
there's going to be something that happens probably in our lifetime that's going to be like, that is amazing. I don't even know how that happens. I don't even know how that works. That would appear to be magic to even ourselves, right?
Right.
So science, the younger Adrias, here's a perfect example before we wrap this up, man. The younger Adrias, they'll tell you, caused the flood, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what scientists will say.
Right.
People back in all the stuff we read will say God caused the flood.
Yep.
Or the Anunnaki caused the flood. No one wants to say God caused the flood with an anti-gravity device. He slung an asteroid at the earth. Two things can be true at the same time, people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it's an interpretation of what they saw.
Of course, an asteroid hit the earth and caused the flood, right? So that means God's not real.
Who's to say they didn't sling at it?
Exactly right.
They didn't sling a comet at us, right?
Exactly right. So yeah.
So this thing says, this is what's really interesting, right? So early texts describe it in a very dry way. Atrahasis epic describes the event as using surprisingly technical language. It mentions the flood being created through multiple synchronized systems, the waters of the earth joining with the waters above. Text describes specific mechanisms being released or activated rather than just rain falling.
Yep.
There's mention of something specific like a barrier or dome being breached, which could be described, which could be interpreted as describing atmospheric or oceanic engineering.
Yeah.
Right? Like
saying the same thing in two different and talking in different ways. But anyways, Jay, Book of Jubilees, where you rating it?
I think it's a first contact story. I love it. I love the Book of Jubilees. Yeah. It's so interesting to like delve into things that we have no idea what happened.
I could have done with the cliff notes. Don't get me wrong.
It is a little dry.
It's dry, man. It's right up your alley, man. It's dry. Like I don't. It's dry. But however, Enigmites, I will say this: you should read it once. I will say you should read the Book of Jubilees one time, right?
Or at least ask ChatGPT about it.
Yeah, or go in there and at least check into the divine calendar, check into the daughters of Adam, check into that. That was pretty cool stuff in there. I will say I learned something on that. I didn't know that. Also, it will tell you that the divine language is Hebrew, but I'm like, all right, consider the source, but yeah, sure. Divine language is Hebrew.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think it's a good read one time. I will not be reading it again. From now on, I will be going in there looking. If I need some data out of it, I will go in there again and take a look at it.
Hit my bot up, right? He'll be asking my bot.
Yeah, man, I'll go in there and ask the bot, or I will be specifically searching out case and verse and calling it a day. The next part we're going to break down is the Book of Jasher, and that is supposed to be a little bit more my speed. A little bit weirder.
Yeah.
We'll get on that. Anyways, Enigmites, stuck around this long, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. We're a breath away from breaking 2,000 followers. We're doing good. I'm getting happy with that, man. And again, also, too, a lot of you guys have reached out to us. I put a YouTube community post up about what more content you guys would like to see. And 45% of you guys said you want to see more stuff like this. Me and Jay breaking down ancient civilizations. And am I not entertaining? Are you not entertained? Right?
Apparently.
Right? So I will do one of these. We will dress up like Romans or gladiators or something.
Oh, you're not gonna make me put on a toga,
yeah, man,
are you?
You're gonna get into it, man. You're gonna put on a visor or whatever, Spartacus helmet. We'll do something. We'll get into it.
Okay.
But let us know in the comments what you found interesting about this episode, what you found interesting about our divine calendar, or if you got any dust you want to sprinkle on it, something we got wrong, because you guys love to let me know when one of us gets something wrong, right?
Get something wrong.
You love it. Well, you love it. You know what, man? I love it. I love it that you love it too. What? So anyways, Jay, got anything else?
No, I'm good. I had a nice well down the rabbit hole this evening on this thing.
And you know how I do. That's all you get for $1, nerds. We're out.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.